All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So a really interesting day on both of these tickers, all right? And really, BBAI completely happened in the last hour. SoundHound definitely happened over the last couple hours, but I am quickly going to be showing the 1 hour chart on this video to just kind of show you what happened. But interesting day, all right? And I mean, the easiest thing to talk about is earnings. The easiest thing to do is look at an almost 20% loss, right? But this is an interesting candle. This is an interesting candle really for three reasons, all right? Doji number one, where it lies, basically how it stands near the moving average, and then the fact that it's actually opened instead of filled in. All right, so I'll talk about all three of those. Really interesting candle from an earnings call. All right, from there, BBAI looked like a juggernaut. I was excited to actually call that one the leader instead of the follower on this video. Lo and behold, that last hour, I mean, it dumped. And hey, I might even go to the 15-minute for the BBAI chart one. But again, interesting days, and this is an echo of why I always never trust earnings. All right, it's the craziest thing. All right, so before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we gonna do? Same thing we always do, right? Excuse me. Whoops. We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how this thing is setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online, comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh man, I am so grateful for it all right? So, SoundHound. Clearly an amazing run, okay? Clearly some amazing technicals that if earnings weren't here, probably would have continued, all right? The one thing I echoed on my last video, it was Wednesday, I got really busy yesterday, but look, I consider myself a decent trader, all right? I am by no means the best, I am by no means the worst, right? And even as I continue to improve from the Discord, from my videos, from the comments that people drop, I never will believe I'm good enough to trade earnings, all right? You gotta know what you're good at. You gotta know what to fear. And I'm never one of those that's gonna say buy the fear, don't get scared by the fear. No, all right? Know your fears, wait for them to be gone, and then attack, all right? That's a big part of my strategy, all right? And to me, earnings is just the craziest I have seen. I mean, this is the perfect example. This is a stock that broke all 5 moving averages and flew. This is a stock that hit big volume, lost it, hit it again. All right, this is a stock that just had really good MACD that was positive and diverging. This had an RSI that was just living healthy up in the high ranges, right? I mean, good. There's 4 stacks on this technical chart, and I mean, that's what it is, right? This was great. And even with all that good, the earnings still brought it down, right? So earnings, I'm telling you. And you know what's, I think even the worst part, because I gotta believe I said it in the video. If I didn't, I know I was thinking it. Look, NVDA had good earnings. C3AI had good earnings. Palantir had good earnings. How do you not assume good earnings, SoundHound should too? I mean, there are so many things that make earnings the craziest of the craziest, all right? And this is what happens with it. Good technicals come down almost 20%, all right? That said, I think there are some interesting things to call out. I will be honest, I am assuming that we're going to be dropping, all right, to 460, give or take. That's kind of my working assumption right now. But let's talk about today, and then we'll get into the 460, or hey, maybe even the recovery discussion, right? So The biggest thing that caught my eye was actually not the fact that it was a doji. All right. So when I saw SoundHound earlier, because I remember I said it. So this was at 9 a.m. my time, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. Let's look at 12 o'clock real quick. That should have been here. Yeah, because this is the 11 o'clock, this is the 12 o'clock chart right here. So at 12 o'clock, we were sitting around 670, all right? Even with our close at 603, it's still a little interesting to me. But we were around 670 when I made that comment. 12 o'clock is noon Eastern, right? I was surprised, look in the box over there, that we opened at $5.84, got as high as a high six something, and then actually closed a couple cents higher at 603. Okay. To me, and look, you can see it, all right? There are four candles that I have for a reason. There's green outline, green filled in, red outline, red filled in. There are good days, and then there are bad, good days. There are good, bad days, and then there are bad days. Look, if you stub a toe, oh, that sucks. You're going to be in pain for a minute. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to complain to my wife for like about an hour at least. Hope for that like sympathy love, right? Like no one wants to stub a toe. But hey, let's be honest. That's a pretty good bad day if that's the worst that happened to you, right? If you break your knee, now that's obviously a bad day, right? So again, there are extremes in life and there are extremes in the market, all right? And my expectation when you're talking about a negative 18% day coming off of an earnings is a big bad filled in red candle. Let me just zoom out and find like this. This is what I would expect. I would expect us, look in the box over there, to open at $2.60 something, almost 70, and then drop all the way down to 233. Like I would expect a big bad scary red candle. And look, you can see as I'm clicking on this day was actually a minus 20 day. That is a minus 20 I'm expecting coming off earnings. Not necessarily this, not a filled in, not an outline candle that opened down here and actually went up during. Some people made money. Some people made really good money because again, 9 o'clock my time, 12 o'clock, it was a big bad, it was up here kind of candle, right? So interesting candle. From there, let's talk about the shape. And I know you know it if you've been watching. This is the candle that I respect the most. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th doji out of 11 days. Crazy. Great, like I am 90% confident I've never seen anything like this before. And as I zoom out, there are a couple more dojis that I could add to only make it crazier, right? But we're talking just the pop alone, right? So just so much. And again, why do I respect the doji? Look, the doji says uncertainty. Some people thought it was going to fly. Some people thought it wasn't. I'm surprised not even the lowest point of the wick went below the 8 moving average, and that's the last thing I wanted to talk about on this, right? The doji stays above the 8. And look, that to me makes it a real possibility that Monday might reattempt 660. It really does. I started this by saying I think we're coming down here to 470, 460, right? I still think that. I think mainly because of this RSI. I do. Now, maybe I'm undermining the 8 moving average, a line that clearly has been an important juggernaut on this, what now, 4x run, still 3x run that we're seeing at this point, right? You know, it's one of those things. I don't know if I'm over focusing on one technical, right? But that's my kitty back there. Even she's saying, I don't know. I think that's what she meowed. I have no idea, right? I don't understand what they say. But you know, I think what I'm expecting is green, red. That's, I think, what's jumping out at me as I'm looking at this, all right? I think the last thing I want to talk about on this daily chart is the 200 moving average, all right? We have actually not confirmed the 200 moving average is broken. All right, this was the one good candle. Believe me, you know my excitement. There was money to be made, and quite frankly, I don't know if anyone really cared about confirmation, especially when the next day still dropped that doji, right? We have not seen two good confirmation candles since we've gotten over this purple line. Again, dojis don't count. That's a good one. Doji don't count. That's nothing. That's a moderately decent one. Obviously, there was no second one behind it anyway, so that one's obviously irrelevant at this point. I still need two good back-to-back candles. Otherwise, I mean, I think there's a, I mean, look, do I genuinely believe we're going to come down to 260? I don't. All right, I don't. We have that 470, 460 line I've been talking about. We've got the 20 moving average. We already know $4 is an important line. This 316 line was also a really important line for a while too, right? So, and we got the 50 moving average before we even talk about this 200, all right? That said, if you don't confirm you've broken it, you can lose it in a heartbeat, all right? And you can't get overconfident on a single ticker, all right? It's lost me a lot of money in the past, I promise you that, all right? So look, if we hold the 8 moving average, if this never goes below 550, oh, this thing wants to go back up. This thing's gonna retest 661. It might even go as high as 710, all right? If we slip below 550, I think we're coming to that 470, 460 I've been alluding to, all right? Technically, we can drop as low as $4. We actually can drop as low as 370. I'm assuming the 20 moving average is going to start getting close to that 4, so let's just use 4 for now. But no one wants to drop from $6 to 4. That's a 33% drop. You're losing $2 on a stock that has 3 sets of $2, right? No one wants to watch a 33% drop and just smile and say, hey, the guy said it's bullish, right? But as long as you're over the 8 and the 20, you are bullish, right? So use that as you can, but just remember, 550, I think, is a really, really, really important decision line, all right? It really is a bounce or die, and I say die so loosely because, again, I know my longs are laughing at the fact that we destroyed this $2 line. That was the biggest fear for months and months and months and months. And the lowest line I ever talked about was 250. Even 250 is a great, great number for a lot of the longs, right? So again, it's take it as you will as your time frame goes, right? But SoundHound, I mean, an amazing couple days. We still need more to confirm. Otherwise, lose the 8, you're coming to the 20. Lose the 20, you're coming to the 50. I just don't think we're going to go much lower than 4 if I had to guess. I got to let my kitty out 1 second. Are you trying to leave? Yeah? Bye. Oh, careful. She wanted to leave real bad. Let's go to the weekly really quickly. I mean, again, look, this seems like a very strong weekly, all right? This very much is a very strong weekly, man. My goodness, right? I'm actually looking at this to try to even remotely find a flaw on this. And hey, maybe that's indicative of the 8 moving average is going to hold on Monday. I don't know, right? If you've watched my videos, you know I care about both sides of the coin. I'm not here assuming it's going to go up. I'm always ready for both sides, and I attack when I'm right, and I adjust when I'm wrong, right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Man, I didn't even talk about the earnings because I don't care about the earnings, and I say that with love, right? What I care about is the market's reaction. This is a doji. I think we're going to see the true reaction come Monday, and that's what's going to be what matters, all right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know about your earnings thoughts. You know I love hearing from the people, right? Just because I don't care about it doesn't mean you shouldn't, doesn't mean others don't, doesn't mean it's not important at all, right? I'm just a guy on the internet with some opinions, right? Let's take a look at BBAI. I can't believe this is what the candle looks like at the end. I'm shocked, all right? I see it going up. This is obviously in the 50s. I don't care about post-market going up. That for sure is a simple answer, especially when this thing was pushing 20% pushing 20%, and we're talking about only 6 with that after hours push, right? So I am shocked that we're down here. That's a real simple answer and a real simple way I want to start this, all right? Hey, if you can please subscribe, please share. Oh man, clicking that share does wonders, all right? I normally don't do this, but I want to take a look at the hour. All right, now look, today is the first. This is the entire day right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles representing the roughly 7 hours of the trading day, right? This thing smashes the first three of 4, right? This thing actually holds to the last and then dumps, okay? Rough. Just rough. Hey, I guess you can say I'm glad you held the 20, right? But just rough. Look at the 15. It all pretty much happened in a real big 15-minute moment. You can maybe say a 30, 45 minute, but I mean, it all just happened at the end, right? There was a real big dump off. And I think to me, and it's funny because I started the video by joking. I swear, if this thing was going to close in the 20%, when I make my thumbnails for YouTube, I always put like a little sentence something, right? And I was going to say leader or follower, because like for real, if you're going to drop a 20% something day when SoundHound essentially drops a minus 20%, I mean, that's a flip and a half to say the least, right? This 2% close makes me believe it was fake because people did not want to hold it over the weekend. And I think that alone screams a lot of uncertainty. Now listen, I saw the headline, so it looked like they acquired someone. I like that. Now, obviously a lot can happen with an acquisition. Good things can happen, bad things can happen, right? But just as a whole, I like it when a small company makes acquisitions to get bigger. That's what winning looks like, right? When you are the winningest little one and you can say, hey, other little one, come with me and let's go, right? Like I like that as a view for Big Bear. I think it gives it a little more validity. I think it does some good stuff. Like, I'm hoping you do it again. I'm hoping the acquisition transitions well. I hope there's not a lot of overlap, and if there is, there's, decisions made, right? Like stuff like that. But overall, it's a good look for the company. Again, what's screaming to me on Big Bear is this hourly chart and this crazy dump off at the end. Again, this tells me people didn't want to hold. No, like the most volume this thing got was about 9.6 in the single hour. There was a bigger dump off at the end. Like no one wanted to hold this thing, and that's a problem. I think this big green volume candle looks fake. I do. I'm seeing a stock that is still following SoundHound. And again, my thought was going to be that's going to go down. So this one too, right? There is green to what could be a quick red all the way down to maybe 275. So be careful with that. Obviously, I have a line at 314. It's actually held it the last couple of days. We've wicked pretty much to that line, but held, right? So maybe 314 can do the job again. But yeah, I think if we start to slip below 314, that 275, 280 becomes a real scare, right? I also do think if SoundHound loses the 8 and makes its way a little too close to the 20, I find it hard to believe Big Bear wouldn't do the same and lose that 8 and make its way to the 20, all right? So again, this video was so different in my head. Like, I mean, a couple hours between it, right? Like that last, I go take a quick shower, I come back and it's down. Like that's essentially what happened here. So, I don't have much thoughts other than that, in all honesty. All right, let me give the positive. If what are my thoughts if this is going to go up? Give me a sec. Where are you? That's our number right there. So if this gets to 533 or higher, that could be a real positive sign. I do not care that's where this is sitting in after hour. Like after hours means absolutely nothing to me. You know that, especially like I said, if it's too small, like that's an easy ignore. Hey, if it's a big 20%er, a little harder to ignore, right? But I'm taking from this big candle right here, this February 3rd candle. I think if we can start sneaking into it, I think that'll be good. If you want a little bit safer of a, no, that's too. All right. I think that's a good, I think that's a, okay. I think 375 is probably the safer line. Again, there is no such thing in safe in this craziness that we call the stock market, right? But I think if we start to get into 375, that's probably going to be a little more comfortable than that 535, that 353 number I just gave. All right. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Hey, I appreciate you so much.